is a good time. Yeah, while we're letting people in. My own anthem for this year, and I would say maybe it took me a couple months, like it does, right? It isn't like that day, all of a sudden I started. Nope. Probably took me to the thawing of the earth itself, right? Till sunlight and warm earth started to happen somewhere for me, maybe in April, though I was holding the intention the whole time. And so what I came up with that felt like my mantra, and I'm going to invite you to come up with yours for this practice time together, with this invitation of really opening into the places that scare you. And I don't think we're going to discover them quickly. I don't think we're going to discover them. So be careful about this idea that, oh, now we're going to do this. I'm going to find all these demons. I'm going to be going. And I think we're going to run into all the armor first, all the deadening, all the thinking. This is one of the things I'm noting, like brain drain. I'm really good at it. I know how to do it. It makes sense. People nod when I'm saying it. Oh, ugh. All the reinforcing that I get for this. Yes, oh, you're so right. Bullshit. Bullshit. If you're dead down below, I don't care what you're saying. And by the way, you can feel that, can't you? You know, words versus embodied. Everybody does, right? It's not a joke. Yeah, you can feel it. So when you feel it to me, call me out at like, that sounded really nice. I have no idea what you just said. Break this down. What's it for you? Because I'm going to be asking you the same. What's this for you? And this class, we don't get to stay hidden back there on the Zoom. You're going to have to answer. You're going to write it, chat it, speak it. You don't get to hide out anymore on Zoom. And if that keeps happening, then what I know is that we can't do Zoom this way, because really everybody just stays tucked in. And really this book says what? We're supposed to be softening, and that's my mantra, softening into the blade. Not turning, softening into the blade. That I have to really bring a tenderness, tears. I have to breathe out and open the area of the abdomen and the belly, right? I just can't. And when I feel that energy drawing up here, that I need to stop. I need to pause. I need to create a little space for myself to go, wait a minute, sweetie, you're going right up into your head here. You're going to say some really pretty stuff. It'll be cute. Everybody will nod. Oh no. Right. And I look at everybody like, oh, brother. Yeah. You bought it too. That's dangerous. Right. Isn't it? Oh, that's dangerous if you're buying in too. Now, if you know this is embodied, not all you want, right? Yeah. Give it to me. And I'm going to give it to you. Right. Yeah. There's the truth of that. I can feel that, right? Can't you feel this? Because I'm not coming from my head right now, am I? You know it. You know it. You can feel it in my voice. It's a little shaky. Right? You know the difference between blah, 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 blah. Right? Because that deadens not only me, it deadens you. And this is the opposite, isn't it? This is like what's our challenge together to awaken to it all? And that includes all the stuff like, I don't want that. I don't want to look at this. I don't want to make contact with my fear, because then I'm going to feel, afraid. But what if I'm telling you, and Pema's going to tell you every page, and everyone who knows anything, that this is the path. it is actually the way, that there's no around anything, that you actually have to smell bad, not know what to say, not look so good, right? Not have a great answer, and be willing to put it out there. Like, I don't really know. I just know I feel queasy when you said it. Well, that's more meaningful to me than la 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 answer. And by the way, I know it because I do it. I'm not talking about you. I'm talking about that part of me that I really want to be able, because it's an armoring. It's a choking me off. It's a deadening who I really am, and all the gifts and all the beauty, right? And all the aliveness that I have been gifted this privileged, precious life to bring, right? Isn't it? It's right. And then we're going to what? Stay in the little box called Diana or Libby or Brenda or Victor, and right, walk that as carefully as we all can to stay in the lines of that. And really what terrifies me, because I watched my brother do it. I watched him do it. He died dead. And his regret was what? Shit, I should have been golfing. I should have been golfing. What was I doing? Going, I've got to have the big house in the right neighborhood with the squeaky clean garage, right? That didn't help anything, right? And that was because he was too terrified. Not because he was a bad guy. He wasn't a bad guy. He was a great guy that I never really got to know. And he never really got to know me. Right? And we don't want to do this, do we? No, we don't. I don't want you to do this. I don't want you to get to the end of something with somebody going, uh-oh, I think we blew it. We blew it. Because I stayed in my good sister box and you stayed in your distant, but I'll visit you at least once every 2-year box, and right? And we'll never get on the phone and go, what the fuck? What are you doing that you don't have time to talk to me? We grew each other up. We did not have parents, by the way. They were 17 and 21 years old. They didn't know what they were doing. Right? We were the tribe. We were each other's other leg. And what? Missed it. Right? And I hope it takes your breath away. Right? I hope it does. I hope it makes you cry. I hope it makes you choke. I really do. I hope it does, so that you can make contact with that and go, I know I will not repeat this. I will not repeat this, because we all know it, don't we? We all do. This isn't my story. This is our story. And you've done it already. You've gone, ooh, this is not gonna, I don't know about staying locked up back here, man. This is gonna cost me something. And now I'm 50, 60, 70, going, when am I gonna wake up? When is it gonna happen? Well, it isn't gonna happen 1 second before you go, okay, it's gonna get messy. It's not gonna be so pretty. I'm not gonna look so good on Zoom, right? I'm gonna have to just go, ugh. It was hard and scary, but I was there. I showed up for it. No, it didn't get fixed. No, there was no beautiful resolution. No, I'm not sleeping any better. Yeah, Shivam, we can laugh, can't we? Right? I'm not sleeping any better, so I don't know. Everybody's crazy because they have 10,000 good ways to do this, and I'm not sleeping any better at all. right? I'm not eating any better. I know, right? I'm not taking those vitamins. I know. I'm not stretching every day like I know I'm supposed to. I know, right? And then we blame ourselves, don't we? We go, see, if only I were taking the supplement and doing the stretching, and then my life would be okay. Well, I don't think so. I don't think so. I don't think you're going to find that supplement anywhere else. And you know I'm not dissing supplements, right? That's not the point. I love supplements. I take too many a day, but they aren't the solution, are they? They're a support. And how wonderful, right? How wonderful. Take them. Take them, by the way, folks. I hope you take them. But I hope you don't think this is going to be the fix. Because we don't fix life. We live it. And in living it, what I think I'm noticing is you just keep running into stuff that's not fixed. And then there's that. And then there's that. And then oh my God, right? And then there's a lot of puke and snot and dirt. And how do we open, right? And that's the blade, right? That's the human blade. It's just the humanness of us. It's nothing special. I don't want to specialize it either. Nor do I want to specialize or pathologize suffering. Neither's helpful. Neither is helpful, is it? We're not going to do either. We're just going to say, and then it was like this. The body was like this. Ugh. The mind was like this. I don't really want this. I think there must be another way. I think I'll try tennis, is my teacher's fabulous offering. Right? So, do you understand what I mean? We're going to go in together because I don't know how to do it by myself. I'm too much of a chicken shit. I just don't want to. That's why I'm such a great community builder. I don't want to do it alone. I'm like, don't leave me by myself with myself. This is terrifying. Right? But I'll go with you. I will. And I'll go for you. I will. And I want to be able to go for myself. And I'm committed to that. And I want you to commit to that too. Right? That you're number one here for yourself. And then being yourself really is going to give you everything. And I really mean it. Everything you need to bring to be here for each other. That is the path. That is the way. And there is no other. Right? So with my runny nose, I show up. Right? You just show up. And you don't show up with an idea or a plan because that's ridiculous. Isn't it? It's ridiculous. I went into a little retreat this weekend, and the one thing I gave myself, and I was so grateful for it, was I don't know anything. And I'm not even going to try to know. I'm giving it up. Right? I know how to be a teacher. That's not the problem. I could have done that all weekend long. I'm like, I don't know. I'm just going to not know. And thank God there was somebody else there who knew something, because I just kept kind of going, nope, I don't have anything. And it was liberating. And it's the way I always want to be, actually. I want to always show up like that, even when I am the teacher. I want to show up like that. Like, I don't know. What do you know? We better, right, open up together. And that's going to be the point of this book. The places that scare you, let's open to whatever that is. And the specifics are going to not be all that relevant, are they? Not really. It's the tremble. It's the terror. It's the I don't think I can do this of it all that's going to be relevant, because it's all of ours, isn't it? It's all of ours. There's not one person on this screen or off where that isn't true. And how much money you have, and your family constellations, and where you live, and that nobody's died in your family, and right? I don't care. Okay. It's not really the point, is it? You know the truth of suffering. And together, as we look at that, we are going to keep seeing the path to its end. As we look at it together. And then I shut down, and then I closed off, and then I went into my head, and then I went and ate caramel corn, and then I went and worked out, and then I went and had sex with 19 people, and then I, whatever you got going on there. Right? Like that was going to work. No, it wasn't going to work because none of it works. There's nothing to work. We can't get out of this. So then Pema says it again and again. Can we turn towards? And I'm going to say, and open. And soften the belly and drop the shoulders and cry the tear and let the body shake and go, I don't know. I'm just going to show up. That's all I've got, because that's all any of us got, right? And if somebody's got more, you should be in this seat. Then you come get in here and tell me how we're going to do this better than that. And so I'm going to stop for a minute. And I'm going to let you think about, well, I don't want you to think about it at all. Let me change that. I don't want you to think about it. Give that up. I want you to feel the truth of this wherever it's true for you. And I want you to tell me what you know is true. Write it in chat. Come on and say, what's true? What am I saying as you're breathing it, as you're sitting with it, as you're letting it be true? What's true for you? What do you know? Because that's this book. That's the orientation for this book. So what is it? Libby's laughing, so I'm going to let her go.
We're all scared.
We're all scared, she said. We're all terrified. Terrified of what? Groundlessness, she said. That's a fancy word. Isn't that fancy? I love that word. I use that fancy word. Break that down. What's groundlessness? Nothing to hold on to. No handles. No guarantees. No identity. No self. I don't even get that. Like Diane, I get to grab her. Well, who's that? Scared shitless daily. Yeah, there's a truth. Thank you, Tanya. That's right. Tanya knows about this. Every day you wake up. I wake up some days going, bleh. How am I going to do this day? Well, that's already ahead of the day. That's part of the problem. We'll be talking about that, right? How do I show up for this day? I woke up worried about what may happen today. Yep, didn't we? I was just saying that too, Robin. The first blanks, right? Going like, how do I do this day? Well, you can't know that. That's the groundlessness Libby was just naming. I don't know. You don't know either. There's some things we can know, but they are based right where? This body, this present moment. And it isn't knowing like now I have an answer. Wake up. Isn't it? Isn't that beautiful? Just that vulnerability. I'm waking up going, I don't even know what the unknown, Brenda says. Yes. Uncertainty. No handles, we've said. The truth of the fear or the pain or the confusion that's real in a human life. It's not because you messed it up. This is not true. It's because this is the truth of a human life. Don't know. And by the way, we all like to think we know. We all like to think we know. How do we do that? We construct the day, don't we? Isn't it beautiful? You guys, if I looked at your calendars, bang, 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 you've got it. And then I'm gonna meet her, and then I'm gonna talk to him, and then I'm gonna, right? And then I schedule the workout, and then I'm gonna do this thing, and then I'll, right? And then we go, whew, okay, wow, that was too scary, but now I got it wired up. But do you? You don't have anything wired up. I don't care if you do all those things. You don't have it wired up. It feels like everything scares me. That's probably the truth, isn't it? And don't we, since every moment is unknown, greet every moment with a certain vulnerability, right? What are we doing with that most of the time? We're tucking it somewhere, don't we? Like, no, I'd rather know. I like that idea. So I'll look at my calendar, plan the 5 things, right? I love what CEOs work with people, these coaches. I love coaches for this. You know, you start with your intention, you walk in with your 5 bullets of what you, right, intention. And it doesn't mean intentions are bad, but they just can become other handles, can't they? And by the way, sometimes it can close you down if you're not careful to everything else that's there to make happen, right? Because I so lean on my intentions. That doesn't mean to be open is wrong. To welcome the unknown isn't good. It all is, but you can't lean on that either, can you? No, there's nowhere to lean. Actually, that might be the new name of the book. Nowhere to lean, right? In the tsunami, don't know how to swim, right? This would be the closer truth to our this human life and its bigness and its, right, wowness and its wonder and its, right, is, I don't know. I'm gonna open, greet as best I can. And by the way, I don't think it's because we're going to be so great at opening. Forget it. I don't think so. I think we're going to run smack into what we're naming right now, which is, I don't like this. This feels hard or scary or boring, because there's no, right. I'm just running into the deadening. There's nothing even here. And there will likely be nothing you know how to name. And that's okay too. I don't know that we're going to know how to name this. We're going to stay in as best we can certain elements of the body and see if we can't make contact with body sensations. That shaky tenderness that Chogyam talks about, that queasiness that is what we awaken to before we walk in to the present moment. That, I don't know. And I don't want to not know, because that's scary too. I want to read some of these, so, and then we'll practice. Constantly learning in every moment because I don't know. When I catch myself in thinking, I know something, then things can go awry. Yeah, I know something, then I'm deadening something. I'm leaning on my number 1 handle. My number 1 handle is smarts. I can probably name it. I can hold it, but I keep it often, if you're keeping it up here as just an object, not as an experience, you're not going to get the lesson. The teaching is not in you. It's just here, right? Name and describe is one of the essential practices. Well, name and describe is ultimately useful, but it is not enough. You have to name and describe it, and then you have to pour it in and know it from the inside out. And we like this part because it feels safer out there. But what about that in me? Where is it alive then in me? Where is it happening in me? Oh, yeah. Yeah. Another chapter, another week until you've got a brain tumor, until you're in chemo, until the partner left, the house burnt down, until then, where you can't get out anymore. And then you go, this is impossible. Well, it is now impossible because we weren't doing that every day. It's impossible because now you really are in the tsunami going, and I don't know how to be with this. And now it's trauma, right? Now we just got trauma. And who's known how to be with the last 2 years? Who was ready for that? Nobody. Nobody. Not the isolation, not the old habits. No, nobody was ready. And so we're going to be looking at that as well, aren't we? Just you're talking about this makes me want to run. Good. Yes. I love that, Shiva. Yeah. Can I go to the bathroom and just not come back? Maybe the computer will have broken down by then. And I could say, I don't know. I sat by myself because something happened to the internet. Well, I was gone. Thank you for that. Not true. It has elicited tears of recognition, that which I've been running from. Yeah. I feel like I've been caught with my hand in the cookie jar, haven't we all? Yeah. Everywhere but the cookie jar, maybe. And I truly don't know exactly what I'm running from. Well, we can't know because we didn't stay long enough. And we didn't stay long enough to see that it was nothing. That it was just the uncertainty, the unknown, the wide open space, the dissolution of self. I don't care what you call this, that there was nothing happening is often the most terrifying. Like, I don't know how to be with that. I don't even know how to be with that in me. And I, so consequently, don't know how to be with when something is happening. I truly don't know. Yeah, none of us do. Shivam, thank you for that. Or what the cookies my hand was reaching for was trying to cover up. Yes. Yes, uncertainty and not knowing. The cookies never work. Nope, they don't. Even healing insomnia hasn't worked. Nope. I thought as soon as I heal myself, my life would get better and I'll be thriving. Yeah, me too. I thought if I could just get to 150 pounds, boy, my life would be rocking. Really? Okay, not that much. Not really. No. Forget it. Right? Then I'll be limber enough to run the other way faster. I think probably was the goal. I could be quicker on my feet, I think was the whole point of that one. And poof, out of here, right? I could get out. My life will be better and I will be thriving. Not true, no. Yes, and the physicality is a truth, right? The feeling better in the body is relevant. The being present to it does count. I don't want to imply that by what I said. No, the body in its health and wellness is essential because as Pema says in this book, we're all warriors, but not the kind that steals up. We're the kind that actually has the courage to soften. Right? I feel physically better and I'm very glad for that. That's wonderful. Yep. Pete, wonderful. So glad that you honored that both in you and in Shivam. It is the truth. It is the truth. And so we're going to sit with the truth. We're going to sit with, and this is really the essence of the practice, by the way. So when people say to me every day, I don't get the point of just sitting here noticing the breath. Well, that isn't actually the point. The breath is simply a tool or an anchor to get you really to get into the body, right? That's really its design, just to get you to be present to the body and what's happening here. And what do most people say? Yeah, I did that. I didn't like it. I didn't like it in there. I don't want to be in there. There's nothing in there, or it's boring, or it hurt, or I got itchy, or then I noticed my restlessness, or I noticed my mind wandering. Well, I don't want to do the practice. I don't want to do that. That's not what I want to make contact with, except what if that is the path? Because it is. What if that is exactly the way out from suffering? Like right through all of that. Well, then with a little bit more conviction, a commitment, we sit. And not in the way, I really want to do this different for myself, not in a tight, posture, but in an ever opening, ever softening, ever, ever present way. And thank you, Joko, for helping me know the difference. Helping me know the difference. And the practice, and the Sangha, and all my friends here who are scared shitless, just like me. And so we're going to sit. And we're really the essence of that first turn, that intention that says, I am going to set aside this world for these few breaths so that I can make contact with the truth of my own body, mind, being. Right? This is the essential intention. I will set all of this whirling world and those winds aside for brief time so I can know something about this humanness. And so we begin by making contact first with the body as a whole, because we can't just zero in. It's false, isn't it? Don't run for the breath. You're just turning towards this beautiful, loving attention, this care, this interest, this curiosity, this openness. We're just, right, placing attention somewhere here in the body. And see if you can't hold for just a moment the body as a whole breathing. This was the first instruction. And as we have made that essential orthogonal rotation, John used to say, from other to self, and then of course, as we practice, we recognize there's no difference. But we turn it directly towards this body to feel the sense of the feet, the legs, and the seat. And then we begin to invite that attention, that mind, that awareness, all of it right here. We begin to invite it down into the body, down into those feet, those legs, that seat. And see if you can't just soften right here. I always notice a kind of tightness, tension, a kind of holding myself up, off from my true Dharma seat. And see if we can't, with each out breath now, just really ground in, center in, soften into the seat. And take a few big in breaths, breathing in deeply. And really drop it down into that stable seat. Let it go. Let's do it again. Breathing in. And then drop it down. And then with each out breath, drop in. And open. Soften the belly. Establish the spine and the shoulders so that this animal body can hang with ease. Maybe you tuck that chin just a little in that bow, in that prayer with humility and humbleness for the truth of this human life. We bow to life with every breath. And then we set the aspiration. May I show up every single breath with this one intention: to recognize suffering and the path to its end. And may I do so first for myself, and in so doing, be offering my greatest gift to all beings everywhere, without exception, omitting none. And so just check in as we're beginning to move towards that sense, not only of the out breath, that settling, stabilizing, dropping in, dropping down, dropping open, dropping then into the stillness, the pervading silence, in which all things flow. We don't run for the in-breath and we don't hold it. Watch both ends of the in-breath. You're probably doing a little of both. See if you can open, let go of the handles on the in-breath as well. Let it flow, short or long, deep or shallow, doesn't matter. Let it be. This is the way each of us enters the present moment. As I'm paying attention to both the in-breath and the out-breath, and just as you are doing the same, I begin to notice little habits of breath. I'm even habiting breathing. I notice I rush a little into the in-breath, and I also hang on a little bit at the end of the in-breath. It always feels a little short, like maybe I need more. Maybe it's not enough. And the very recognition of this is that softening and opening. I don't have to change a thing, but I can abide, because the breather is not the one watching. Knowing, experiencing. We may eke out the out breath, drop the out breath, faster way to get to the in breath. We may check out completely so that we don't even know we're breathing out. Just noticing. Bringing that curiosity, that friendliness, genuine interest. What are my habits of breathing? Where am I holding on or pushing away right here? Where am I tightening up or forcing myself to be loose? Shaking it off. You're not trying to breathe a certain way. And I'm frequently surprised by what an architectured breath will keep you from, really keep you from it. We're actually trying to breathe into it. We're looking for the cold, hard, dark, queasy, tender, shaky, just right here in the breath. I love resting at the end of the out breath. And I've even recognized that I hang out there a little long. It's different than simply abiding. There is a beautiful space there as well, but they're not the same. Be watchful of the habit now to try to smooth out the breath, to try to drop into the flow, to get it right. This is fear as well. If you're trying to relax, that's a problem. If you're looking for an easy breath, why? What about the breath that's right here? Jagged, short or long. Can you breathe knowing that you're breathing? And then knowing something, not only about the breath, but about you. Where is that shaky tenderness? Mhm. Where have you tucked it? Maybe it's hiding. Maybe you're breathing right over it. What would happen if you let it be? And so we're going to soften the body just a little bit. So we're not quite so armored up from that tenderness, from that shakiness, from that queasy, from that vulnerable, whatever is happening for you. And if it's not happening for you, you're deadened, because this is the truth of every breath. It is precious and vulnerable. It might be tight, it might be hot, it might actually be a pain, tension, twist. Let it be. We spend a lot of time in our practice, don't we, trying to get rid of stuff. But getting rid of our humanness will not serve us or others. And so we see if we can breathe into open some. It might feel a little vice-like or grippy in the belly, the chest, heart space. We're not trying to get rid of it. We're just creating space for it. Places that scare you in your own breath, in your own body, in your own life, right here. And as we have been talking about this, I'm noticing a kind of pain off onto the right side of the chest. I'm going to use that as my example. You find that place in you. This is that turning towards, moving closer and opening. My breath has gotten shorter. I'm noticing a push on the out breath. I'm running a little bit into the open space, and I don't have to do that. Just let it be here in the space that's here. If it's possible, we can just place a gentle, light, and very compassionate and loving attention in that particular area of the breath body. I'm recognizing a little tightening in the belly. I was just able to open that a little bit. That's just a habit. See what's true for you. A little pulling up in the face, the mouth. Watch the tendency to grip into that part of the body. Watch that neck and shoulder. It often takes it on for us. The blade is the present moment. That's all. As we notice the little pinches, the tensions, bow to them. In their recognition, they are here to offer something to you. Being watchful of the let's get rid of this mind. That's not the practice. The body in its habit may also begin to speak to you beyond the chest, the belly, and the abdomen. And that can then start to, we notice, right, as we're sitting for a period of time, oh, that left side of my neck that is its habit. I put a lot of tension there. And I can feel its tightness just a little bit. So good to know. Thank you. Maybe the face, the hands, maybe restless legs. The body itself begins to vibrate the truth. You might notice the habit of moving outside of the body altogether. We actually abandon the body for a complaint in our world. And so now the air is stuffy, the noise is loud, the mind is distracted, right? This can all be a possibility. Or we can notice with practice and beginning to simply rest back. I'm lessening the resistance, the struggle. Doesn't mean the fear's gone. means I'm not fighting with it. Where is the in-breath? Where is the out-breath? And where is the mind?
It's 8 o'clock.
And as we sit within that still, silent, open space, we begin to simply notice without reactivity, without judgment. We simply notice these arising and passing points of contraction and opening. Nothing to cling to, nothing to get rid of. Awareness itself, holding it all. What is arising this moment? The body knows. It is in knowing our fear that we become fearless. And that doesn't mean we're not scared. May we undertake this practice today and all practice towards the end of suffering and the realization of true abiding happiness and freedom. for ourselves and all beings. May we all be happy. May we all be free from pain, afflictions, and the habits that perpetuate them. May we all rejoice, be glad, and have gratitude for the gift of this precious human life and all of its blessings. Infinite blessings. And may we take refuge in this capacity for awakening, in this willingness to sit in the truth of this precious and vulnerable human life, and to do so in the loving and wise arms of the Sangha. Awakening us. And freeing us all. May we take this practice with us into the day, breath by breath, step by step, appointment by appointment, task by task. May we stop and breathe and enter in, seeing how we really are. And may it be of benefit. So be it. Uncertainty and not knowing. And can we begin together by just resting in the truth of that? Just one breath at a time. The not knowing right in this very breath. And then see from that knowing itself what else comes. And I'm not suggesting that what comes is necessarily, certainly not at the beginning a clarity or brilliance, or, and I do know that it is its ultimate effect. But I think the work is first to begin like this, with the tight neck and the queasy feeling, and and instead of just take on a spiritual path or practice that then makes you feel better, and there are many, that we begin to be somewhat tolerant together of feeling undone or scared or confused or not knowing. And again, I don't want to do it alone, which is why I think this book is so right for us. Brenda did ask where to get the book. Depending on how many more people need the book, I will order some more, because I gave mine away as well. I have an e-copy, but I would like to get a hard copy as well. So if anybody else is looking for the book, I'm probably going to place another used book order today. Yes. Thank you. 6 hanky practice today. Beautiful. Beautiful. That's the practice. There we go. Does it always look like that? Well, of course not. Of course not. It also looks like just the beauty of letting that be. And right, the joy of making contact with something that we otherwise keep separate. There is ultimate ease and joy, but I don't know how to run to get there, even at 150 pounds. I don't think that's going to be the way. So here we are together. Let me know if you need a book. We are going to begin this with chapter 1, and these are fairly short chapters. So I would like you to read the prologue. There's an actual prologue from Pema. I would like you to read that, and that's just a couple pages. She talks about the excellence of the awakened heart mind, the excellence of the awakened heart mind, bodhicitta, she calls it. You could call it seeing clearly, dropping into the truth, being with what's here. It's all the same, really. You don't need a fancy word for it. It does ultimately, bodhicitta is ignited by our willingness to open, where we otherwise shut down, close off, fight or flight. So read chapter 1. I'm going to take a look at it, just one. Very, very short, no problem at all. In fact, if you would you read chapters 1 and 2, because they're so short. I think this would be good for us. 2 is longer, but I think it's going to get us to where I want to go with some of the practices next. 1 and 2, the excellence of bodhicitta is 1, and 2 is tapping into the spring. Tapping into the spring of what? My own awakening, my own clear seeing. So there it is, all the way through page 17. We'll stop there. If you don't have a book, please let me know. Fearlessness does not mean no fear. Let's try to get clear about, does not mean no fear. It means opening to the truth of fear. They're not the same. I'm going to ask you next week, what did you discover this week is the difference between fearlessness, meaning no fear, versus opening to the truth of fear. And then I want you to drop in as many times as you can this week to that squeak, that tenderness, that queasy, that tight, that gripped, and see if you can't just breathe into it for a few breaths. Do you have to get rid of it? It's not true. We don't get rid of it. We ultimately metabolize, integrate, and transform with it. There's no get it to go somewhere else. We don't need to keep trying for that. It doesn't work. It doesn't work. So we don't have to keep going, how do I get it over there? How do I get rid of it? How do I make it go away? How do I not feel it so much? Forget it. Forget it. I don't know. I don't know how you get rid of it. I do know that there is a way to be with it, and we're going to work for that. Shivam says again, today's teaching brought some truth that life isn't better by moving cross country to finally be able to buy a house and live in exquisite nature. Wow, this has actually removed some cobwebs and dust from my psyche and being that was causing a disconnect and feeling foggy and not embodied. And doesn't it? And doesn't it? Yes, it does. All the strategies, all the, if I could only get this, all the, if only that condition or this thing, or right, then I could be open. Then I could finally drop into the truth of my humanness. And what's the point of that, folks? Love. I'll cut right to the chase for you. Love. What are you doing otherwise? I don't know. Not that. Not that. All the protection, all the device, all the activity, all the, right? Not closer to the truth of love. For that, you've got to be willing to let it break open. You gotta. That's the only way. I know how to get there. I don't like it either. I wanted an easier, faster, quicker, less painful, messy way. I haven't found it yet. And if you find it again, then you tell me and we'll give it a try. Be careful, because I think we've already tried it all. We got a lot of people here. I think you could name, in fact, let's do it. All the things we tried. Shivam just did it for us, didn't she? By going, yeah, let's move to this gorgeous, amazing green, right? That'll do it. Let's lose 40. Oh, you can't. No, that's not going to do it either. Let's eat healthy. And again, not one of those things is a bad thing. We're not condemning life. We're not going to do it. We're not going to blame life and its changes for our suffering. Those are not bad things. It's what we ultimately, the subtext, the right bottom line of what we try to do with it. Yeah, let's only have positive thoughts. If I hear that one more time, right, Margie? One more time, somebody says to me, well, that's not very positive, right? Like, shut up. Don't say that to me. You don't want to hear that. Positive, everything's positive that's real. It's positive by the truth of it, right? By the truth of it, it's positive. It doesn't make it pleasant, but it makes it true. And that we need to have on the path to true happiness and freedom. We better drop in on that, called scared like this. Scared like what? So scared I'm angry. So scared I'm shut down. So scared I didn't show up. So scared I went under the covers. So scared I can't sleep. So scared I eat too much. So scared, right? That's scared. That's scared, right? Now we can just start, yep, let's just name it. If I just meditated more, yeah, I tried that for a really long time. That's what makes me, right? Yeah. Boy, I got a concentrated mind. I know how to stay away from everything. Like whoosh, right into the, right? Nothing. It's safer there, by the way. Safer. Then you got nothing. It's way harder to do life. Way harder to show up for dying, for illness, for confusion, for greed, for hatred, for delusion, isn't it? We run into it all day long going, why? Why do I still have to do this? Why is this still here? Because this is this human life and the capacity to recognize and be liberated with it. Not from it, with it. Right? I'm practicing right now, working with all my family with a different political perspective, and seeing myself in every one of those people who grabs that belief, hangs on beyond all reason, right? Just like me. Just like me. And I keep just saying, just like me, just like me. Right? Because I'm just grabbing the other end of that rope. That tight, or then they're no problem. Then they're no problem. They're just working with their limited belief thoughts, just like I'm working with mine limited belief thoughts. And what makes me think they're not? I have no evidence for this. I just like the idea that I'm right and that this is the way, and my way is non-harming and their way is going to kill everybody. Okay, it's already 8:20. I know that many of us have places to go, but I want to check in first, really, just to see how everyone's doing with this orientation, with this possibility. I want you to tell me, how is this feeling, seeming, and sounding for you right now? Here's Renee, that recognizing feelings and difficulties is bad somehow. Yeah, don't we? People say this to me all the time. Yeah, it will work out, be positive. Denying that change is inevitable and hard. Right? And hard. And mostly, often, not wanted. I don't want that change called getting older. I don't like that change called getting sick. I certainly don't want to be looking at the reality of death and dying. But because of that, we don't live, right? It isn't just about dying at all. That's just one of the points on the continuum. What we really can't tolerate is living. Yeah, it's going to be a good study. I think so too, Victor. I got to tell you, I think so. I'm really excited about this. I'm really excited. Robin, thank you. Robin's going to be teaching this Saturday for us, as I will be at the all day this Saturday at Quest Haven. If you can drop in for part of that day, please do so. If you haven't registered, please do. And if you can't come, Robin will be here at 7:30 this Saturday. I will be teaching this Thursday morning. Greg is traveling at 7 a.m. and I'll be staying right on this topic. We'll be staying right here. So if you're going, wee, this is going to be a big ride, drop in on Thursday to get a little support. It will be a less guided practice, but the same drop-in, to the same body, to the same breath, to the same queasy tenderness. Robin, you are more than welcome to come after. Love to have you. Anyone who can't figure out how to register, just let me know. Kelly will be our retreat manager for this Saturday because Carrie is still going to be in Turks and Caicos. Poor Carrie. Poor Carrie. Warm waters and tropical drinks. I don't know. That sounds horrible. So just let me know and or Kelly know. If you haven't received the instructions and directions to the all day or half day, please let me know because you should have all received it. And yes, I do know that some people are getting it who can't come, like Sept and Satya and Shiva. And I'm sorry you guys can't be with us. Chapters prologue 1 and 2. Here we go, gang. And so with our whole hearts, we are going to open into the truth of the whole of this human life. It's complete positivity, which includes everything and doesn't feel good and does not. We're scared of it. We don't want to feel it. We're terrified of it. It's going to not be pretty. We think it looks ugly. No, it doesn't. It's just human. We're going to let it be so that we can see the truth of the way to true love, acceptance, regard, compassion, and connection. May it be so, may it be so, may it be so this very day. All right, everyone. Thank you all so much. Love to you all. Thursday, Saturday, and next Tuesday. If you don't have a book, please let me know so I can get one in your hands. I think the book is important. You can order it on Amazon, by the way. Also, I do believe it takes 2 days or something to get. But if you're looking for a used copy, let me know and I'll get another order on that. All right, everyone. Mwah. Live this day. Live this day with fear.
Always.
Yeah. Let's not try to get rid of it. Let's just put it right up there.
Just
Just like that. Just like that. And watch how our habits are no longer necessary. That's what I want you to see. No longer necessary. It's not even interesting because I'm already up against it. I'll just be here. All right, Tanya, love to you. Margie,
Thank
you as well. We will
Have a
see you guys soon.